Hello everybody, today is Kislev, the 29th of Kislev, and we are finishing Perek Daled. Just to recap, we were holding Perek Daled, introduced us to the three Levushim. In previous prakim, we described what the soul is made up, that it has three levels, and each of the levels of 10 spheres, and then the way it expresses itself is with Machshava Divrei Maisa. That it has thought, speech, and action. That is how it expresses itself, and we explained how the thoughts, speech, and action that the godly soul wants to interact with and wants to be involved with all is in a godly pursuit. So he wants his mind to be involved in thoughts of Torah and to learn and to contemplate God. He wants his mouth to be doing, saying kind things to others, davening, never saying, negative things to others. He wants his hands to be busy with mitzvahs, giving tzedakah, putting on tefillin, all this kind of stuff. Never any negative, with our hands, to hurt somebody, chas v'shalom. So, in a classic understanding of Levushim, it would seem that the vehicle is always secondary to the driver. The driver is the main person, our main hero of the story, and he gets in a car to get somewhere. Just like if I want to say something, so my mouth is the vehicle I'm going to use to explain it, but it's all coming from my brain, it's coming from my thoughts. So we would imagine that the soul is the main featured character. He's the one who has the Chacham Das and the Chesed Gvur Tiferes. He's got all these soul powers that he wants to express. He burned up a major love for God, and he wants to express it. And how does he express it? He expresses it through Machshava Divrei Maisa. Those are secondary. That's just his vehicle, but the main character is the soul. And that's usually how it works. However, in this case, we explained that the Torah comes from an even higher place than the soul does itself. And today, the Alter Rebbe will explain that that's actually a beautiful thing, because a neshama in and of itself is great, it's wonderful. It comes from a very holy place from God. It comes from God himself, from his brain. However, if we want to go even higher, if we want to raise up, we need to attach ourselves to something that is higher than us. So by connecting our thought, speech, and action to the Torah's thought, that we want our thoughts to be Torah thoughts. I want to think about Torah. I want to speak words of Torah. I want to do mitzvahs. If that is how I interact with this world, and I invest every part of myself, all 613, we said there's 613 soul organs. And we said that there's 613 mitzvahs. So if I find expression in all of the things that comprise my soul, if I find and I do all the mitzvahs, so now my soul is fully immersed in Torah mitzvahs, and then the Torah mitzvahs reaches back and it grasps you, like two people that hug each other, they're embracing each other. I'm embracing someone and being embraced. It's a double bond. When I reach out to Torah mitzvahs, it also reaches out to me. And what we're getting when we get this hug, we're getting from the most highest source of God himself, because Torah and mitzvahs is God's mind. Torah is coming from God's brain, and mitzvahs is his will. It's what he wants. It's what when somebody desires something, this goes to the deepest parts of who they are. They want something. And if we could interact with Torah and mitzvahs on this level, we're touching the most purest level of God that we could ever have access to, including neshamas in Gan Eden. They don't even have as good access as we do. That's why it says, is that it's better to live in this world and do 1 hour Torah mitzvahs than it is to live your whole life in Olam Haba. What happens in Olam Haba? In Olam Haba, they experience the Ziv HaShechina. It's more clear than it is in this world. It's more revealed. It's more obvious. They can see God, but they're not seeing all of him. They're seeing a small ray that comes off of him. It's a ziv. It's a ha'ar levad. The ziv comes out of him, and this is what they're experiencing, and they see it really clearly. So they get a big experience, but of a small part of God. Versus in this world, things aren't so clear. They're not so obvious. However, what we are seeing, albeit not so clearly, but what we are seeing is the essential God. We're seeing his mind and his will. Whereas in Lamaila, they're seeing much clearer, but of a small slice. So we get to experience to hug God, and he hugs us back. And yes, when he hugs us, it says Yeminai Techabkeni, he hugs us, and Yeminai from the right, from Chesed. This is referring to the Torah, that the Torah comes and gives us a hug. Like we said, that when you are hugging Torah mitzvahs, it hugs you back. So what are you hugging? You're hugging the king. Yes, it went through Hishtalshalos, and he's wearing many garments. It had to become Gashmias. You're putting on something that doesn't look so obviously like God. It's a piece of tefillin, which comes from a cow. It's very physical. So it's wrapped up in many layers. But when you hug somebody, he could be wearing, his undershirt, his tzitzis, his shirt, a jacket, a coat, and then, some kind of cloak over that. He could be in 70 layers. But if you're hugging someone, you're hugging the person inside. So when we hug God, even though it's wrapped up in all these layers of Gashmias, who we are hugging in its essential is God himself, as opposed to in Olam Haba, where they just get a ziv or a levad. So that is Perek Daled. We describe the three machshavot v'maisa of Torah, how we use our thought, speech, and actions to do Torah thought, speech, and actions to grasp God himself in a very, very profound way. That is today's Tanya. Thank you very much. Have a good day.